This man fought in the battlefields that you've seen today for much the same reasons, as I've said, as many as the British soldiers did. In fact, I think that these guys deserve as much respect, as much reverence as the British soldiers do. Because, like I said to you over there, they were here for much the same reasons, sacrificing their lives for their country. My ardently loved and good Elizabeth, the letter you promised has not arrived yet, but as I have received no mail at all, I suppose it's because it's hard to get to us out here. When 3 of my men volunteered to get him, very carefully they brought him in just like one carries a sick child. During the whole recovery operation, the English held their fire. For nearly 7 days this poor chap had been lying in no man's land. He was so afraid of us barbarians that he had not dared to cry for help. Now our regiment's doctors will take care of his wounds, which had already turned gangrenous. German barbarians. You know how much I love the heath, and with the same love I am yours eternally. I greet and kiss you and the boys. God be with us all. Now, in the middle of the cemetery here, I've got a rough translation of the poem that this refers to. And think of all these graves stood around here and you hear these words. In battle he was my comrade, none better I have had. The drum called us to fight, he always on my right, in step through good and bad. A bullet it flew towards us, for him or meant for me. His life from mine it tore, at my feet a piece of gore, as if a part of me. His hand reached up to hold mine, I must reload my gun. My friend, I cannot ease your pain, in life eternal we'll meet again, and walk once more as one. So we're at Maison-Blanche German military cemetery, and we're just having a look and thinking about the German soldiers, of which you can see just so many graves all around. And I've got Becky and Nisha here who are going to tell us some of their thoughts.
Well, just the sheer size of it, like hits you. It's just so vast. Yeah. And each cross, each cross is 4 bodies, which is horrible. Yeah. But they don't even get a grave to each person.
In a way I find it a bit disrespectful because each one of them have fought for their own lives and saved their country, but I suppose they haven't got the land that the British cemeteries do. Yeah. But we were saying, weren't we, that the British, the big graves and the white, which you're seen as like peaceful and serenity.
Whereas like the black kind of seems like solemn and it's sad and it kind of
stuck in the past almost.
They're just kind of all kind of small and it's horrible.
Yeah, like you should be celebrating their achievements, not
because they did as well as the British did. They didn't have to go. Well, they did, but you know, it wasn't their choice. It was what the country wanted them to do, and they fought as hard as the Germans.
I think this cemetery is more. It makes you realise how many people really did suffer. Because it's so big. Each one stands out.
Like you think you've seen it all, and then you go a couple of yards and there's more, and it's ridiculous.
And I find it really interesting that it's just how different it is to the British.
Yeah. So we're at Maison-Blanche, and we're just thinking about what we're looking at here. So what do we think, guys?
It's horrible.
Yeah, why?
Well, like at Tyncott, they were all given like loads of glory and monuments, and all the like achievements were listed and stuff, and they were all. But here it's just like rows and rows and rows of graves with like 4 people in each, and it just goes on, and there's no like sense of anything good at all. It's just all morbid and sombre.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
It's like they're treated as if they aren't like people, because like they are individuals. They're just treated as a gravestone,
especially by their own.
It's like they're worthless, basically, how they're being represented here.
They don't even get their own gravestone. They have to have 4 to 1 graves.
It's just so harrowing that there's 40,000 people here, and the gravestones, they're so numerous. To think that there's 4 times as many, it's horrible. There's so many deaths, so much pain.
Yeah.
And feels so different to the other graveyards. There's other sort of school groups. Here there's no one, almost forgotten, out the way. They're overlooked.
Yeah. So do you think that this should be on school tours?
Yeah.
They made
Exactly
the
the
same
same.
sacrifice.
They didn't
as the
choose to
British.
start the war. They just had to fight in it.
It was that they were ordered to. It wasn't that they choose to do it. That was their duty. Whether it was right or wrong, they thought that they were doing the right thing.
Yeah.
They were fighting for their country.
And so
It's the
did
same
our
as
soldiers.
ours.
Yeah.